Alright guys, today's video is going to be a little different. I wanted to touch on a subject that kind of matters a lot to me because it's something that pertains to me quite a bit. Um, the trades. How I got here and where I am, a lot of it has to do with the trades. Um, I was kind of not the best student, and I recently saw somebody um, post something on social media about how the schools just used to push all of the bad kids into shop class as a means to get them out of regular classes that were destructive, but these guys were actually good in those classes, so they were seen as classes for kind of like fuck ups. But in my experience, I think it's a little give and a take because yes, I was very much that student. I was disruptive and destructive, loud, and I had quite the reputation amongst teachers. And just it didn't pan out good for me. But when we didn't have any real, we had like art classes and stuff like that in middle school, and I took that. And I kind of grew up around the shop with my dad. My dad worked for the same company for 35 odd years. And he worked a second shift and he would take me with him. And I was exposed to work and keeping myself busy. He would give me odd little jobs in the shop, and that also was good for me, which is something that you really can't do anymore these days. Regulations, I'm the last of the generation of like the free range kids, right? We stayed out late till the lights came on outside and all that. You guys have seen all that stuff. But, in high school, I had the opportunity to take a VOTEC program, and I took auto body. And it was a fluke because my cousin had told me, whatever you're going to learn in the automotive side, you've already done with your dad, because my dad always did his own work on his cars. My dad pretty much owned beaters with heaters until like 2002 when he bought like his first, I'm making payments on this car. So prior to that, he owned a bunch of clunkers that he was always working on. And I was always there to help him hold the flashlight. And so I had a lot of exposure to that, and I always liked cars. I built model cars, In middle school, I was in RC cars and building them, and if it had wheels, I loved it. I skateboarded that had wheels. Little did I know how much skateboarding actually played a huge part of my success, as far as the level of relentlessness and willingness to keep pushing despite failure, because skateboarding is 80% failure and 20% success. You're going to fall a lot more than you are going to land a trick. And that's just it. So in high school, I took auto body. And my first year, we kind of had a hard-ass teacher. He was a good teacher. But, he definitely kept me in the classroom as a means of punishment. And in the second year, we changed instructors. And that instructor, instead of keeping me in the classroom, he wanted me out of the classroom, and he just said, go work on something. And once he found out that I actually had a little bit of a natural talent for it, he encouraged me to find a shop. And I started working for my first shop when I was 16. And it was, I did the co-op program along with the VOTEC program, and they would let me to skip out. So I would work half days at a body shop. And that was my first experience. And it was a good and a bad experience, but I was willing to take anything I could get, because reality also hit that, that was, I definitely ain't going to college. I got to do something. And I just happened to like body work. And I stuck with it. And then I landed my second shop, which that guy was an Oldsmobile guy. I bought my Olds from him to fix up and learn. And this has been a learning tool for me. And, that's kind of what's led everything to be where I'm at, and the necessity of wanting to keep the car going but not spend a lot of money and learn. That all comes from those years of taking shop classes and VOTEC classes. But I had the opportunity to do that, and having the opportunity to learn to work with your hands, whether it be wood shop, electronics, mechanical drawing, CAD, metal shop, machining, tool and die, which our school all had, and I took all of them. They bent the rules for me. They let me take all the classes, but they also told me if you go to college, you're screwed. They're going to reevaluate everything, and you're going to have to take high school classes in college. So I didn't do college. I went straight to the trade while I was in high school. And in today's day and age, where there is a shortage of technicians, I'm surprised that the government or local governments aren't doing anything to keep these programs going, because a 17-year-old kid can go out into the world, get into an apprentice program, and have an honest shot at life and start life without debt. Going to college, you come back, you have debt. I bought my house when I was 22. I had no debt prior. I was, maybe I took a hard risk, but I knew that there would be more to come, and it worked out. And so what you guys see here and what I'm doing is a lot of it has been a lot of hard work, a lot of trial and error for the guys that have been following for a while know. But I just saw that comment on Facebook and thought to myself, that's kind of a little BS, because I think even the guys that are shitheads, they can clearly see the opportunity that's been put in front of them once they realize that they can do something. And a lot of those core skills that I took from those shop classes, I still apply. Like when we were hanging out at the machine shop, working on the 427, like I know how to run machines, degrees and minutes, RPM and feed, the setups, how to square things up in the machine. As far as woodworking around the house, all that's paid off. People have taught me how to do plumbing, and I've been able to, I built a bathroom in the house. So we're very much embrace the DIY, because there isn't anything that we can't learn. Now with time we have gotten busier, and it's become tougher as our racing has become more involved. But the most important thing here is that if there's a local shop program, and I've tried to get involved back with the high school program that I took, my VOTEC program, and it just hasn't worked out. But I would love to get involved back into that again, because I am 100% a success story from that program, and I didn't do anything else after that, so it all kind of worked out. And the teachers also helped me out, and I stay in touch with a couple of them, and they're happy to see me out there. And I rub elbows with some of them, as some of them actually have brothers and stuff that race at our local track, and so it's nice. It's a nice reminder. Last Friday we were at a chassis shop over by the shop where I work at, and we were naming off people, and it turns out, a lot of the people I know, and I know them because of the teachers I had, I stayed in contact with. But, when you take your VOTEC program, if you got a good instructor, they're going to help you out and lead you in the right way. And I think my second year, where I was just told to go out in the shop and stay busy, my teacher put it all together and said, this guy just needs to stay busy, get him in a shop. And I never looked back. I've been doing my trade for pretty much 20 years, and I did a small stint in machining, and all I can do is say, if you got kids, whether they are a hands-on person or not, have them take some shop classes. It's as much of an art as it is a trade and a craft. I know for body work, people talk about regulations cracking down, but it's still an art section of frame rail and know where to cut. And, you know, tradesman works with his hand, craftsman works with his mind, and an artist works with his heart. And I think I still get to do all of those doing collision repair. The art part really falls into play when it comes to metal work, you know, the panel alignment, the tediousness of it, and what I like to bring to the table. And I think it's a good experience for people. I remember the not to be disrespectful, but the nerd kids taking shop class in high school, and they had a hard time, but I would help them out because I loved the seat time behind the machines. And they, you know, we did find common ground, so I made friends with those guys, which was like the most eclectic group of friends I had was in high school, where I was like skateboarders, punk rockers, nerdy kids, comic book kids, you know, like I was friends with everybody. And I think that also is a good melting pot in high school, because in high school it can be very cliquish, but shop class kind of brings everybody together, because usually you only have like one instructor and you're helping each other out and you're learning to work as a team, and there's a lot of core lessons to be learned there. So you know, if you guys follow like Mike Rowe at all, he's a big advocate for that, and I think it's important for people to support that, because you know, politics aside, it's the legalities that have slowly killed these programs. You know, little Billy comes home with a scrape and his mom can't have it, so she's got to sue the school. But the reality is, that's what the world he's going to go into. He's going to get scraped. He's going to get hurt. You can't shelter him. So, on that note, I hope you guys like this small segment of talk. And it's something that is close to my heart, because again, if it wasn't for the Votech program and the shop classes I took, I wouldn't be able to do half the stuff that I do, or even be exposed to the things that I do, because I, you know, wandered into a body shop and my life changed. So I'll let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna enjoy my coffee. Gotta go outside and paint. You hear the helicopters in the back.